There's several issues that are common that real estate agents and lenders and closing attorneys, if we're all on the same page from beginning to end, will make the closing process smoother. I'm going to break it up in two parts, kind of before the closing and then at the closing table. Before the closing, if it's going to be a mail away, we need to know that as soon as possible. It's not a problem, but there are several steps we have to do to line that up. Payoffs, we're able to get payoffs relatively easy, but there are situations where the lender will not let us get payoffs, such as if the seller is behind, maybe if it's started the foreclosure process. We don't know that. We just call and they say we can't give you the payoff. So then we have to contact the seller and ask them about it. So if the real estate agent will facilitate getting in touch with the seller, that would help a lot too. If the buyer or the seller is an LLC, we need to get the operating agreement as soon as possible, because that will dictate who can sign on behalf of the LLC, either to sell it or to buy it. If the seller owns the property in their name only, but they have subsequently gotten married, even though the spouse is not on the deed, they have to come to sign the deed if it is their homesteaded property. Two other things that I get questioned about a lot at a closing that I believe a real estate agent could tell their seller before the closing is when they're getting their proceeds, their bottom line number, the check that they're going to take home after the closing. A lot of times they don't get as much money as they thought because they did not think about the prorated taxes. So if you're selling a house later in the year, October, November, that's going to be 10 or 11 months of prorated taxes that the agent may want to say, hey, now remember, you're going to have to pay almost a full year of taxes to the buyer because they're going to be responsible for the whole year, and that's going to come out of your proceeds. Also, the payoff on the mortgage is not the same as the balance. So when your client looks online and sees their mortgage balance, the payoff is going to be more than that. They're going to hit them with some fees on the way out. It's usually not a big deal, but it is going to be different. Those are the most common things. So if we could get those taken care of, that will go a long way to make the closing process as smooth as possible for everybody involved.